Stephen Jackson, Caddo Commissioner and mayoral candidate. Hey, Stephen, welcome back to KEEL. How you been?
Hey, how you doing?
You know, we talked with Jim Talafero yesterday. We're going to talk with Leo Savage a little bit later this morning. As far as your campaign was concerned, what was your number one takeaway? What did you find out about Shreveport as a city and its citizens over the, say, 4 months that you campaigned?
I found out that citizens, as I often do, even as a commissioner, that citizens are somewhat concerned about the direction that our city is going in. And, there's a lot of frustration out there about a number of issues, not just one in particular. So
you have a base. You're Caddo Parish Commissioner. What are you going to encourage your base to do now? Have you made a decision? What's Stephen Jackson looking at doing?
Well, as I have said, I still have a sworn obligation to serve them and be the best commissioner for them. I'm definitely going to encourage them to go vote and exercise their right to vote. As far as how to vote at this point, I have not made any concrete decisions on which direction we'll go in because there are several races still on the ballot.
Have you talked to either Adrian Perkins or Olli Tyler, and if not, do you plan to?
I've had conversations, but preliminary conversations, but I'm not going to divulge the specifics of it, and I still have some other conversations that I plan to have as well.
Could you endorse one of them?
As I've said on the show before, I'm probably the most open-minded person, so nothing's off the table. What I can say at this point about Stephen Jackson, the only thing that's for certain or the only thing that's for sure is nothing is for sure.
Gotcha.
As a Caddo Commissioner, your base of support obviously is not small, as was evidenced in the mayoral election. What if it came down to an endorsement? Can you kind of give us an insight, a hint as to what issues, what you would have to see in one of those two candidates that would convince you to give them your backing?
Well, I think what we'll have to do is we'll have to be open-minded. We'll have to look at, some specifics. We'll have to look at the issues that are out there and who has the best plan or who do we believe has the best plan. I tell people I'm a person of principle, and so it's not about just going with who can win or that kind of thing. I'm open to having conversations. But we have to have leadership that is willing to move our city forward in the right direction. And so obviously there were 8 candidates, and so there obviously had to be a sense that something is going wrong. So, but I'm open. I have open mind.
Talking to Stephen Jackson, Caddo Commissioner, was a candidate for mayor. Stephen, let me be blunt here. Pretend like nobody's listening right now.
Okay.
This is your city. You love this city. You have roots here. You have family here. What concerns you most about Adrian Perkins if he were to be elected mayor?
I mean, I just want to make sure that we have someone, and y'all know I don't get into individualism and I don't get into personalities and things like that. And I've stayed away from that even during the campaign. What I will say is anyone who is leading this city has to have that same level of commitment that you just described about myself, a passion and a zeal and a knowledge of what's going on. I think a lot of folks try to paint me as the big bad boogeyman, but I want to make sure that folks understand that I felt that I was the most knowledgeable candidate. I felt like I was the most qualified candidate. And we have to have competent leadership. We have to have individuals who have a vision for the city, a plan for the city. And so those are the things that I'll be looking for in our next leader as I make my decision as a citizen.
What did you mean by big bad boogeyman? Explain that to me a little bit.
But I mean, there are just all kinds of just hearsay, and all of a sudden, none of that is relevant anymore for some strange reason. Folks making accusations that I was sending money to my private employer. As you know, I was on the commission for 2 years, and all of a sudden, the last 5 months, this became an issue, and it was a completely false, totally false. Folks lying and saying I lied on my affidavit of my residency. Completely false. I mean, so, and we've just, this charade has gone on, and I think some folks are going to find out that I was that they probably would have been better off supporting me. But I'm going to leave that for the citizens to decide. I don't hold any ill will. Again, I've got a sworn obligation. I have a commitment to see Shreveport and Caddo Parish be better. So I won't be bitter about anything. And, as I say, I've had some preliminary conversations, and I plan to have some other conversations. And we've got to do better than what we're doing right now.
What's your future hold? Could you run for mayor again, state representative? You looking at anything like that at this point? I have a sworn obligation to the citizens of Caddo Parish Commission District 3. We have a lot of issues there. What I would like to see is the commission get more involved. We obviously have the resources. And, I kind of feel like sometimes being on the commission might be a bad thing sometimes, because people look around and see all of the issues that are going on. And when we don't step up sometimes, and when folks see all of the money that we have sitting in reserves, even though it's restricted in some places, they want to see more. So I'll be continuing to push for the commission to do more there. But what I will say is that the only thing that's for sure or for certain about Stephen Jackson is nothing's for sure.